For almost 30 years now, the M5 has been at the top of its game in terms of a luxury sporting sedan. But it's been a long time. Is the 5th generation still at the top of its game? Let's find out. On the outside, it's not over the top. It's kind of understated. Just subtle clues to the fact that this is the M5 sedan on the outside. You've got the M brakes, you've got the M logo on the wheel, and here, the M5 badge. I think BMW's design team pulled it off. It's not ostentatious, but it does, in a slight, subtle way, reek of speed. The interior is not over the top either. It's a good combination of simplicity, sportiness, and a bit of luxury too. There's a couple hints to the motorsports prowess of this one. The M badge on the steering wheel, and here the stitching in the M colors. Very cool. You also get an M badge on the 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission as well. You get a couple compartments on the console. This one can be used as an ashtray. And here, this one splits and opens, and you've got the connection for your USB or smart or iPhone, and a bit of storage as well, plus a charger for your phone. 2 cup holders here, and then of course the dual climate control right there. Heated and cooled seats as well. Then you move up into the radio controls and then onto the infotainment screen. The gauges are laid out just as you'd expect they'd be. Nice large tachometer. It's nice that you don't have to fuss with menus like on the M3. This one, you press 2 different buttons on the steering wheel and they engage different settings for you. This one is in sport. Another way to adjust them is right by the shifter. Here you can adjust the shift patterns. With this one, it's the shocks, and here, it's the steering feel. The heated and cooled power seats with lumbar are firm and supportive, but no M badges. Out back you get your own ventilation control. This one has the optional rear heated seats. You also get 2 cup holders if you fold the armrest down, but if you want to fit 3 people, you gotta leave it up. The trunk opens automatically. And inside you'll find it has a heck of a lot of room actually. It also closes automatically. The keyless entry is very simple. Just touch it and it'll open right up for you. Another cool feature is the way it closes. Watch this. Just push it to and it automatically shuts, airtight. The M5 is powered by an intercooled dual overhead cam 32 valve V8 with twin turbochargers. It produces 560 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 502 pound-feet of torque at 1,500 RPM. Acceleration is very impressive. With launch control engaged, you can scoot from 0 to 60 in just 3.7 seconds onto a top speed that is limited to 155 miles an hour. If you deactivate the limiter, it's good for 190 miles per hour. Fuel economy is rated at 14 miles per gallon in the city and 20 miles per gallon on the highway. You can expect 16 miles per gallon overall. Now, pricing for the M5 can seem a bit steep. It basically starts at $89,000. You'll probably want the executive package, which gives you some nice comfort features, heated back seats even, and you'll also want the safety of the lane departure warning system, the blind spot warning system, and that package also comes with nice cameras all around the car. So by the time all is said and done and you add the 20-inch wheels too, you want those for the cool look and the added performance, you're basically out the dealer door at over $100,000. And you can certainly buy a lot of great cars for $100,000. Many come to mind, but you know, hey, you get what you pay for, and you are getting one of the best handling sedans in the business. So $100,000 ain't cheap, but you do get a lot of M5 for that. When the M5 came along in the 80s, it was really a game changer. If you drove it after driving anything else in its class, you you were just blown away. It was much faster, equally as luxurious, and just as large, but it handled like a much smaller car. Fast forward to today, and you can see that it's much tougher for BMW to really stand out from the crowd. You've got cars like the Cadillac cts-v, which is also tuned on the Nürburgring and the Autobahn. Even Buick, a lot of GM cars are being tuned that way. Scion, Toyota, everybody is bringing their cars to Germany to test them on the Autobahn and refine them and make them great, and hopefully to get a better lap time than the M5. Everybody's picking on them. But why do I think that maybe it's okay? BMW still has an edge. Well, because throughout these 30 years, there's an image thing that's associated with BMW. In the 80s, it seems that every successful person in a movie was driving a BMW, and therefore you saw BMWs everywhere in America starting in the 80s, and it continues today. If someone's successful and they want a car to show off that success, more times than not they go for a BMW. So BMW has that cachet, and that's not going away anytime soon. But if you see that M Sports badge in the M5 or M3, which I've also previously tested, well, you know that that car was tuned in Germany, and it definitely handles incredibly well and is incredibly quick too. In terms of cornering, the M5 is really set up well. The traction control and such doesn't really intervene until you start to get loose a little bit, so it does let you have a little bit of fun. If you really want to have fun, turn the traction control off, but just beware, because well over 500 horsepower is pretty tough to control unless you really know what you're doing. Another cool thing is the matched rev downshifts. Check this out. Blips the throttle for you. Go ahead and get towards a turn, brake, downshift, set it up, turn in, accelerate, and it holds the gear for you too. Pretty incredible. In sport mode in the M5, basically it quickens up the throttle response, you can firm up the shocks, but Sport Plus mode really takes it a step further. I mean, you can be in first gear and it can even buck a little bit, just like if you were driving a manual transmission car, not really know what you're doing. These high beams do a great job of lighting up the road in front of you. And with the heads-up display, you never have to look away. The night look of the gauges is really top-notch, actually. It's kind of the M colors, which are also on the steering wheel, but that's a pretty cool touch. And anywhere you look, looks good. Now, in terms of the 7 Series BMW, I really love that one. I think it has some of the best seats out there in the business right now. Lexus LS and GS are very good too. Tested those recently, but those 7 Series seats, the way you can adjust the upper headrest is just great. And I wish they gave you that option in the M5 here for your 100K. I only really have a couple points of contention with the M5 here, and one of those is just probably the Germanness of it. It's, you know, they design the gauges and the controls for the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, the satellite radio, the USB, things like that. When you're trying to use the technology with the iDrive, it's a bit more complicated than it needs to be. I think they could look to the Japanese for some lessons, and even to a lot of cars from America and Korea these days who seem to do it better. But, you know, that's part of the quirky German nature of BMWs and the motorsports cars also. A few other minor quibbles I have with the BMW here is the parking brake. It's just right there on the console, and you kind of lift it up with your finger, and it's just a little quirky. You can press it or lift it up. I think either a handbrake would be better, or at very least, let's use your feet for that. Another minor quibble I have is with the shifter. You know, it's just too quirky. It's kind of like the one in the Prius, and I think BMW might have come up with it first, but still, it's just too quirky for a car of this level. Give us something more simple and easy to operate. So the question remains, is BMW still at the top of their game with the M5? And I think the answer is definitely yes, for these reasons. First off, in America and certainly around the world these days, when you see somebody driving a BMW, you know that they want the best from their car. You know that they're probably successful, and that's a whole image thing. So BMW's image has really cultivated over the years, and it says success. And when you see that M badge, especially on the M5, you know that you're getting absolute best performance and handling that BMW Motorsports has to offer, and that says a lot right there. You know, it's not only a great sports sedan, it's a great sedan as well, and it's very luxurious, and it is technologically advanced. It might still have that German quirkiness, but you know, hey, I think you get what you pay for. Even though the asking price is steep, the BMW M5 is still a force to be reckoned with, and it is a fine precision sports sedan. I'm Drivin Ivan Katz.